Jesus also speaks about oaths. He says, "But I tell you, do not swear an oath at all. All you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one." Matthew 5:34-37. The point here is not so much about formal oaths, but about integrity in our words. Jesus is saying, be a person of your word. Let your promises and commitments be so trustworthy that they don't need to be reinforced with oaths. In practice, this means doing what you say you will do. It means being honest, even when it's hard. It means admitting when you are wrong, instead of trying to cover it up with more words. Remember, our words are a reflection of our hearts. Jesus says, "For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." Matthew 12:34. So cultivating a heart full of love, compassion, and truth is key to communication that honors God and blesses others. Now let's talk about something we all do, but often don't think much about: judging others. Jesus has strong words about this in the Sermon on the Mount. He says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." Matthew 7:1-2. At first glance, this may seem like Jesus is saying we should never make moral judgments, but that's not it. He is warning against hypocritical judgment, against the tendency we have to see others' faults while ignoring our own. Jesus illustrates this with a vivid image. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? Matthew 7:3. Imagine this: a person with a huge log sticking out of their eye trying to take a tiny speck out of someone else's eye. It's absurd, right? And that's exactly Jesus' point. So how can we apply this in our daily lives? Here are some practical suggestions. 1. Practice self-reflection. Before pointing out others' mistakes, examine your own heart. Ask yourself, am I committing the same error or something similar? 2. Cultivate empathy. When you find yourself judging someone, try to put yourself in that person's shoes. What circumstances might have led to this behavior? 3. Remember your own need for grace. We all make mistakes. We all need forgiveness. Let this awareness make you more compassionate toward others. 4. When it's necessary to correct someone, do it with humility and love. Remember, the goal is not to condemn, but to restore. Practice what psychologists call compassionate curiosity. Instead of judging, ask yourself, what's going on with this person? How can I help? Jesus is not saying we should never discern right from wrong. He is calling us to approach others and ourselves with humility, compassion, and grace. Imagine for a moment that you are on a hill in Galilee more than 2,000 years ago. The sun is shining on the green grass, a gentle breeze caresses your face, and in front of you is a man who is about to change the world with his words. This man is not a powerful politician, nor a famous philosopher. He is Jesus of Nazareth, the Son of God, who is about to deliver the most revolutionary speech in history, the Sermon on the Mount. But what is so special about this sermon? Why, after 2 millennia, do we still talk about it? Brothers and sisters, get ready for a journey that will change your perspective forever. In the next few minutes, we are going to dive into the most impactful teachings the world has ever known, teachings that challenged empires, transformed hearts, and continue to be as relevant today as the day they were spoken. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. With these words, Jesus began to turn the world upside down. What does it really mean to be poor in spirit? The answer will surprise you and make you question everything you thought you knew about success and happiness. Now you might be thinking, all right, it sounds interesting, but why should I care about a sermon delivered 2,000 years ago? It's a valid question, so let me explain why the Sermon on the Mount is not just an old speech, but a revolution that is still alive today. Imagine for a moment a world where forgiveness replaces revenge, where compassion triumphs over selfishness, where love conquers hate. It seems like an impossible dream, right? Well, that's exactly the kind of world Jesus was proposing in the Sermon on the Mount. And not only did he propose it, but he also gave us the tools to make it a reality.